What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the very first ever episode, the very first ever live episode, I should say, of Extra Reverb. I'm here with Coker and Jacob, as always, and they probably aren't going to say anything.
Oh, is that my cue?
Yes, it's your cue.
Hello. This is my first podcast, guys, so you have to be patient with me.
Yeah, I mean,
and as we go.
What we have here is an initiation ritual. This is what we're doing here. But yeah, we got a few things to talk about as always. We got the nice animation in the background. Just the three of us. Told them all they had to do was show up and talk. So
we couldn't even manage that.
I get paid the big bucks to be here, so my time is very valuable.
Austin had to pay me a lot of money. He had to pay me 4 trollers for this. Okay.
I had to pay Jacob 7 Minecraft diamonds.
He paid me 5 yuans for this.
I thought we agreed on 8, but that's fine, I guess.
Yeah. All right.
Welcome. Today is Sunday, November 1st, meaning 2021 is going to be in 2 months. How's that? How do you feel about that, guys?
It's gone by super quick, but at the same time feels like it's been 5 years.
You know what's crazy is on February I'll be 6 months away from being able to drink alcohol legally. It's gonna be crazy.
It's crazy.
Whoop, whoop.
No, it's crazy to think that in this February I was down at Florida, and in the same year, like all that crap happened. Like I'm not even kidding. It feels like it's been 8 years in just a year, but at the same time, it's flown by.
I feel like I've aged a couple years in the last month, but to be fair, it's not COVID reasons, it's personal health reasons.
Personal health?
Yeah.
Personal health.
Well,
I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I should bring this up on, but I don't know if I should ask because we're live, so we can't just cut this out.
Nah, let's just leave it out. Let's move on. We got plenty of topics to talk about today. First off, we got a featured artist that we want to talk about that Coker brought up today, known as The Replacements. Please tell us about this featured artist.
Yeah, okay, so The Replacements. The Replacements started off as a punk band. They are originally, they were from Minneapolis, which is in Minnesota for people who don't know. And
I think everybody knows, but
yeah,
okay.
You'd be surprised. But no, they formed in 1979, and they started off as a punk band, but eventually down the line became really one of the big pioneers of alternative rock. Nirvana said that they were influenced by them, Smashing Pumpkins, a whole list of groups.
Blink 182. I mean, we gotta run the checklist down, you know.
Yeah. Blink 182
refuses to bring up his cousin's band.
You refuse to bring up Smashing Pumpkins. I gotta do my duty.
Because Smashing Pumpkins suck.
But no,
them's fighting words. Them fighting words, bruh. Them fighting words.
Disclaimer. Smashing Pumpkins does not suck. They're just not as good as Blink 182.
Fair.
Okay, so that
opinions.
So basically, they've been put under a lot of terms. Some of the most popular are jangle pop, which is just jangly guitars, you know. I feel like it just comes more under just alternative because they don't really. You can listen to their stuff and it sounds like a lot of alternative stuff, but then you realize these guys were really the first ones to be doing that type of sound. So of course, they were sort of the pioneers with a lot of that. A lot of it comes from one of the head guys of the band, Paul Westerberg. He's done a lot of music on his own, but obviously he's most known for The Replacements. They were inspired by a lot of the old power pop groups, more prominently being Big Star, which is, I'm pretty sure I probably talked about them on this podcast before. And they ran for a good bit. They were one of those groups that really their influence started to show after they had already broken up. They were one of the few groups that got banned from SNL. They got banned for one of their performances on SNL. And yeah, they had a lot of. They were one of those bands, like I said, that they really broke up right when they were starting to get to their peak. And then after their peak, all these bands came out, were talking about how much they loved the Replacements, and it you really have to listen to their music to sort of get behind it, because they have a lot of changes throughout it. They released two they released two they had two releases early on. I can't remember the name of the first one. I know the second one was called Stink, and then they released a third one called Hootenanny. And Hootenanny was their more bridge to where they would sort of become well known for. And then Let It Be is my personal favorite because it has a lot more of the jangle pop influence behind it.
Let
And then
it be, let it be, let
Jacob,
it be, let it be. Right?
That would be
Yeah.
very convenient, yeah. But nah.
we just have to. We now have to get freaking copyright because of
'Cause I'm
Jacob.
so good at singing.
No, but their most popular release is got to be Tim, which is more akin to what they do live.
Tim.
It was the last album to have the original lineup of the band. Bob Stinson, the lead guitarist for the longest time, ended up getting kicked out about after this point. And yeah, the whole story of them is really, it's a really not necessarily sad, but it really screams of the times that they were in with all the events that happen around them. And more specifically, the albums Let It Be and Tim are really just, I feel like they're essentials to anybody wanting to get an alternative music. Tim had a semi-successful single called Bastards Young, and just show how much of this punk influence they had, the music video for it is literally just a speaker playing the song. Like that's all because the group hated doing music videos. The whole music video is literally just a speaker, and they would it was known that they were very wild on stage. Especially the lead guitarist Bob Stinson. And this is the reason why they got banned off of SNL. In fact, they were so wild on stage when they did the SNL show. It's actually rumored that Bob Stinson fell over while walking out and broke his guitar, and they had to last minute quickly grab a guitar for him to use. So they were very wild on stage and very influential, but one of those bands where their success and their influence really only got shown after they were, after they had already broken up. So, do any of you two have anything to say on them?
Well, I did listen to that song / watch the video, and Coker had actually sent another one before he sent that one. And this other one that he sent, the kick drum was way louder than everything else.
Yeah, I just the whole band is unlistenable until they fix that kick drum. It's like, what were they thinking?
Well,
What were they thinking?
Yeah, but
Why
Coker
would
was
they do it?
Coker was all like, that's probably just for that music video, it's probably not the way that the song was actually mixed. And then he went back and listened to the actual mix, and he was like, oh yeah, that was 100% what they did for that video.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were just being punks.
I think a lot of that music video had to do with the way back in the 70s music videos were mixed. You can hear it too. Like if you listen to a lot of music videos would have different mixes for some reason compared to the album. And I think a lot of that has to just do with the formats that they used back then not being up to date. And I think a lot of it has to do with the replacements. I'm pretty sure they probably just mixed it to match, to make it feel a bit more like it was coming out of a speaker. Because I feel like if you were listening to it out of just one single huge woofer, I feel like
Yeah.
you would probably hear more of the kick drum than anything else.
Or at least more bass.
Yeah.
And it was kind of in mono, so yeah. I can kind of see where they would be coming from, but anyways, I have put a link to one of their songs in the chat. To be honest, I don't remember which one it is, but it's one of their songs. And you'll see that it is not in the chat, actually. I put it in the description, but I will put it in the chat, actually.
You just listen to every replacement song until you find it, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
listen to the whole album. You put bastards in young. You put the right one.
Oh, hooray.
He said a curse word, Austin. What are we gonna do about that?
Kill him. Anyways, next we're going to talk about the fact that you can now sing MIDI, man. Have you guys ever had like a musical idea in your head and you wanted to just put it down in your DAW in MIDI form using a virtual instrument, but when it just came time to play it, it just didn't come out right. You couldn't play it right. You were lacking in skill, or you just imagined it differently than it would be played or I don't know, your fingers aren't working or something.
That's what's happening with me right now. I have this song in my head, and I don't think I can make it come alive.
And then, yeah, exactly. And then, like, you could take a few steps back, go over to like your table or something, sit down and think about it, and then you could like hum it to yourself. Fine, and it comes out fine, exactly the way you want it. But when it comes time to play it, you're just not sure how to play it. Or like if it's a drum beat, you can beatbox the drum beat, but you can't put it down right. You can't play it right. Well, a company known as Voclia has bridged the gap between this. What we're trying to say is there's a mic that now detects audio and transposes it to MIDI, basically. And Mr. Andrew Huang was the man who revealed this to us. Voice-To-Midi is real, he says. And he was able to make quite a few parts, not only drum parts, but also lead, bass, and background percussion, which I thought was really helpful. And yeah, I think this could be really useful. It's only about, the price is listed in pounds. It's only about £260. I'm not sure how much that is in dollars. Wouldn't it be less?
Same.
Okay, about the same.
It's a little bit more in dollars.
No, it's approximately $342.
Okay, so more in dollars, but still, I mean, Coker, we were talking through this earlier, and Coker was all like, I'm surprised this isn't $4,000, because this is revolutionary.
No, I saw one thing that was really cool, and I'm pretty sure Andrew Wong's did a video with it. It's this cool keyboard that has like rainbow keys on it. And I was like, that's so cool, and it's tiny, and it's like $800. And
Yeah,
this is like only about $300.
Wait, are you saying we have come to expect that the gear in our craft will be like super expensive? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yes, exactly.
That's fair, man. That's really fair.
You think I'm wrong?
We have a really expensive craft, man. I mean, if you want to play like every single instrument, or not even that. Let's just say you want to play the drums. You want to build a good drum kit. That's $3,000 right there.
Yeah.
And if you break a cymbal, that's $300 more just to get a replacement.
No, yeah, like how like I saw a video. There's this one YouTube channel that I really watch I think it's called Gear Gods, and this guy on it, he pulls out a Fender Stratocaster in it, and he's like, "Oh, this is about $600, so it's just a really cheap Strat." And I'm like, "Cheap? $600, and it's cheap?" Like,
yeah,
that's that's
I mean,
sad.
Yeah, I mean they got $6,000 Les Pauls. So yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, obviously in comparison that makes sense. But a $600 guitar shouldn't be cheap. Affordable, yes, but not cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like something can be affordable and still not have like cheap build.
Yeah, Harley Benton.
Cheap build quality.
Harley Benton makes guitars that are like a couple, like maybe $200 max, and they're amazing. Every person who's played them, like, there are people on YouTube. I know Music Is Win has some. He plays like, he plays ESPs, he plays Gibsons, Fenders, and he says that Harley Bentons are super good, and they're only like about $200 at most.
Well, that's that. Jacob, you got any thoughts on the Voclia Voice-To-Midi? I know you had some earlier.
I want it is basically it.
Yeah, I'm definitely
Um,
asking for it for Christmas. If any of you
are
guys
you
want
actually?
something to get me for Christmas, you can either get me an Alvarez, a 1969 Alvarez 5014, or this Voclia thing, or maybe a Zoom H5. But this Voclia thing would be a nice Christmas
All
present.
right, I tell you what. If you buy me this microphone, I'll send you my H5 for free.
What if I buy you the Voclia?
Yeah.
All right. What about Coker? We got to get him in on this somehow.
If you buy me a
How?
Klon Centaur, I'll give you a car.
Oh, what you gonna give me a Corvette?
Sure, I'll get you a Corvette for a Klon Centaur.
I thought you wanted a Ford Flex.
I do like a Ford Flex, but if I'm gonna get something free from him, I might as well get something that's pretty expensive. Save me some money later on down the road. It's all
But
about
what about
it's all about
Herbs.
maximizing your resources, man.
Dude, the 2020 Ford Flex is not too bad looking.
No,
No Ford Flexes are bad looking, but anyways, all right,
Nah, I don't like the Ford Flex.
okay.
I mean, it's not a
Well,
car I'd get. I'd rather get like a Subaru Outback or a Honda CR-V.
well, anyways, speaking of what Coker wants for Christmas, you want to talk about the Klon? Hit the Klon.
Happily. So, this guy, okay, I'll have to quickly look it up because I really should have this pulled up. But so this guy back in the 90s, if I can get his name real quick, he Bill Finnegan back in the 90s. He's playing all these gigs and stuff, and he has this cool amp. Well, while he's playing it, he just realizes, at these big clubs and venues, these big rooms, he has no problem cranking his amp all the way up to get the overdrive out of it. But in the small little clubs, he can't have his huge little tube amp cranked up all the way because it'll be too loud. And it sounds fine, obviously, cranking a little bit lower down, but there's no drive. So he sought to create a pedal to sort of solve that issue. And so between 1990 and 1994, he created this pedal called the Klon Centaur. And compared to a lot of different overdrive pedals, it does something very unique. It's not just because, speaking in the terms of like a Ibanez tube screamer, a tube screamer, he the Centaur, the gain knob on a Centaur doesn't increase distortion. It doesn't add distortion onto a clean signal. What it does is it actually is a blend knob between a clean and an overdriven signal. And that's how it gets its sound. So if you have the gain knob cranked all the way down, there's nothing getting added onto it. It's literally just the clean signal. But when you crank it up, the more you crank it, the more it gets blended with that overdriven signal. And that became super popular. And between 1990 and 1994, he produced 8,000 units of these. And he was making them all on a little fold-out table in his apartment in Boston. And
Wow.
he was just cranking these out. And eventually he got to the point where he couldn't make them anymore. And so he stopped. And there are only 8,000 of these. And these pedals are super sought after. So, for an example, last year in 2019, a Klon Centaur went for about $2,000, which is still a huge amount for a pedal. In 2020, they go for $5,000. They more than doubled the price within a year.
I mean, your point stands, man. We have an expensive craft.
Yeah, and they're very mythical. So, like, for example, one myth that was later proven true.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, it's called the Centaur.
The myth that ran around about these for a long time was that the Klon had black goo covering the circuit board, covering the PCB, so that you couldn't copy it. Well, someone opened it up, and guess what? There's black. They covered it in black goo to make sure that you couldn't copy it. That didn't stop people, obviously. There's hundreds of clones, including one that I bought. But the original is still the one that people, is so sought after. And he has reissued it in the past. In fact, he made one that had a completely different shell and looked completely different. That goes for about $300, which is still a lot for a pedal, but it's not $5,000. And so the thing that a lot of people I've heard say about these is that it really is. It really is an investment. It's something that appreciates value over time. So if you buy one of these, you keep it in good condition. Later on, you can sell it and you'll earn a whole bunch of money on it, because these things just double in value every year. And there's so many people who've used it. So I can give you some examples here that I got pulled up. Mark Tremonti, Jeff Beck, Warren Hayes, Britt Daniel, Nick Valenci, John Mayer, David Grissom, Adam Hand, Neil Klein, and then that's it. There's more. Keith Urban, you have Peter Frampton. Let's see, you have Joe Perry, and those are the main ones, and Dave Welsh. So you have a bunch of very notable users of this pedal, and the thing is I don't think the guy wants to reissue them. I think he sort of, you know what I mean, guys? Like, I think he sort of likes the idea that this pedal is super valuable now. Even though he isn't, I don't think he's earning any. You guys think he's earning money off these still?
No, how could he?
No.
Sup, Josh? By the way, sup, Josh? Josh is in the chat. I forgot to say earlier, but the link to the Voice-To-Midi thing is in the description and in the chat, and so is the link to the Klon Centaur. And yeah, so what you're saying is this is kind of like the drive circuit on an amp, but in a pedal. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that is what I'm saying.
All right. Very cool. Don't suppose you have anything to say about that, Jacob?
Of course I do.
I don't suppose you're going to say it.
What?
No, I'm good.
What?
I was messing around, but it sounds cool.
Jacob can't even say nothing on it because we sent the video in. Austin at least skimmed through it. Jacob watched like 2 minutes of it and then just stopped.
All right, understand.
Okay,
guys.
I didn't really.
Coker sent the video like 30 minutes before we were supposed to start. It's a 20-minute video. And the guys are like, "Hey guys, welcome to the new video. Today we're going to be talking about guitar pedals." This is like
Double speed,
like,
man.
Watching biology class. Like, I'm sorry, man. It's,
do not smack talk
boring.
5-watt world.
It was so boring.
He is interested
double
in
speed, man.
I've never been more bored in my life, Coker.
For the least money. All right, you are just mad. You're mad. You're jealous.
All right, I'm gonna play it at double speed right now. I'll be done in 10 minutes.
Okay, not now. Obviously.
I'm never gonna watch it, Coker.
You're mad. You're just mad you can't be 5-watt world.
He big man.
Sure.
You're just that mad.
Well, anyways, let's give Jacob something to do. Actually, recently, I've been thinking about, like I said, what I want for Christmas, and one of the things that I mentioned. One of the things I mentioned was a Zoom H5, and I was thinking, I have a Blue Yeti Pro, and one of the reasons that I like it is, or just one of the reasons I like having a USB mic is I can just plug it into the computer and just go, just like that. Well, the Zoom H5, the other reason I like it is because it can be a field recorder, but I need a computer to field record with the Yeti. I do not need a computer to field record with the Zoom H5. And I thought if I could, and I already know like the Zoom H5 can be used as a USB interface for XLR mics, but I figured if I could also use the built-in mics on the H5 as like a plug-and-play USB mic similar to the Yeti, then it would essentially be the perfect replacement for the Yeti. So I had Jacob test it, and he is going to test it right now and demonstrate to us the fact that you actually can use it. as a built-in mic, you know?
I feel like this should be common knowledge, but it's true. You can, and guess what? It's what I'm using at this very moment. Is my H5.
Now, the funny...
Although before you're hearing the AT2020, I want to get that straightened out.
Yeah, before he was on his 2020 through the Scarlett, now he's on the H5. Definitely sounds a bit thinner. Let me ask you this. You do have it set up to where it would be recording in stereo, right?
Honestly, I'm not sure. That would be a Discord thing.
Right.
I'd
So it is
imagine so.
Discord. Discord is making it mono. That's good. That's what I would want. But anyways, yeah. So the H5, it's like or pretty much any Zoom. They are
Any
pretty much
Zoom
like
in the world.
all around good, cool trick things to have in your back pocket, you know? And I mean, let's just talk a little bit about the H5 actually, because we were talking a few days
fact
ago,
that the
and
H5 is a cool mic.
it's a cool everything, man. You got like, you got this mode that is like, wait, hang on, actually, I need to get a picture of this and put it in the chat, or put it on the screen. But anyways, yeah, the H5, it has this backup mode that's like, if you are recording, and you accidentally get a source that's just too loud, it has a feature where it will be recording in the background, and but it'll be recording in the background at 12 decibels below whatever you have it set to. So that way it'll have like some built-in clip protection. Now, sadly, that only works for like 44.1 kilohertz sample rate, but still, that's better than nothing. And we've talked about this before, but like 44.1, that's fine for recording, usually. But yeah, and then it's got like a buffer mode. This buffer mode is really helpful. It will be recording in the background like every 2 seconds before you hit the record button. So the example I used was, say you're trying to capture the cry of an eagle. You're trying to capture like the screech of an eagle. But you don't have much space left, so you don't want to keep it recording like all the time. So what you can do is, whenever you hear it, you can just press record, and it will have that sound and also everything 2 seconds before that recorded, you know? And
Yeah.
that's really helpful. It really really helps you cover your tracks, you know? So Zoom H5, good Christmas present. But if you're gonna get it for me, get me a case and a dead cat windscreen as well, please. I don't want to use this thing without a dead cat
We
windscreen.
need to do extra reverb.
Do you guys want to hear it without a dead cat right now?
Turn it down if you're gonna do it. It's really loud.
Here, hang on. Sorry, it's kind of hard to take off. Anyways, this is the H5 without a pop filter. No joke, man.
That's funny.
Alright,
But-
now the dead cat's back on.
You can switch back to the 2020, by the way. I think we're good.
Yo,
Never gonna happen.
Oh, we'll turn it down if you're going to keep on.
I'll do it. Hang on.
It's really thin,
Did you miss me?
sort of. Anyways, what were you saying, Coker?
we need to do like a Christmas thing for extra reverb where we give each other like gifts.
We can give each other songs for gifts. How about that?
I already got paper planes. I don't need I already got a song from Jacob.
Okay. Alrighty. Maybe we can get maybe we can get each other the Voclia thing.
I need to tell the audience that Coker decided to send the part in the Borat movie, the original one where they're naked.
What's Borat?
No. No, we're not talking about and it has the caption Lake House Meetup.
Anyways,
Why?
all right, so let's talk about something else now. Did you guys both watch that Resynthesis video from Andrew Wong?
I actually saw that.
I watched a little bit, yeah.
Okay, so this is free, apparently. It's a tool for resynthesis to, like, one of 5 instruments. I'm checking now, but I think, like, I know a violin was one, a saxophone was another, and basically you can sing and you'll get this sound, or you can put, like, any sound in, and it will change it to one of these sounds, you know? You have to watch the video to make sense of it. But once you see it, it'll make perfect sense. And I'm thinking we could use this to improve the MIDI sounds that we have. Just lay down like a violin part in whatever virtual instrument you have, and then send this to this resynthesis thing, and you've got better sounds instantly.
Yeah, man.
Amazing.
Like,
It's
what do you
crazy
guys...
AI can do.
Like, the possibilities are pretty endless. What do you guys think?
Yeah, man.
I think it would be pretty cool.
I'm trying to see what instruments are available. Hang on. And also, I need to make I need to add the image to the stream. So, give me something here.
Speaking of like synthesis, how about I went and checked up. There's another vocal synthesis like website thing, and me and my friend tried to put a bad word in it, and it told us it said why would you say that?
Why would you say that, man?
It wasn't even that bad of a word. I think it was the D word, and it was like, why would you say that?
You can't
Cringe.
say the D word.
Okay, so I believe this this website is called Tone Transfer, and or the tool is called Tone Transfer, I think. And where is this? I think, yeah, you can pick from a violin, a flute, a trumpet, or a saxophone. So not many options here, but still, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to put in a picture because
I mean,
we're pretty much done talking about it.
yeah, again, the fact that it's AI and it's able to like take that, and it's pretty similar to the Voclia, you know what I mean? It's just
Exactly. It's just for
Yeah.
audio and not for MIDI.
Yeah.
Pretty epic, huh?
Like, what if
I think it's pretty cool.
what if you laid down a fat saxophone riff?
That's what he
With
did in the
Voclia.
beginning. One of the guys in the beginning.
But you do
Andrew played that
Voclia
video.
into the MIDI, and then you play it into a, let's say, a saxophone instrument, and
Yeah.
then you run it into the AI. Then you have this cool thing.
Yeah. I mean, it would definitely be interesting to say, like, this song was made all virtually by my voice, pretty much. Anyways, yeah, I think that's maybe something else. I mean, I'm definitely going to try it since it's free. I think we all should try it and see what we get. But, like, definitely to, like, upscale the MIDI instruments that we have could make it better quality, hopefully.
I remember,
But now... oh, go on.
I remember, like, when I would want to do a like take a vocal track and turn it into a MIDI or like a separate instrument. I remember I'd use Logic's thing, because you know how Logic has flex pitch?
Yeah.
I would use that, and it has a thing where you can turn it into a MIDI file, and then I'd just like spend the next hour trying to correct all the problems with the MIDI file.
Yeah, I mean, the Voclia thing has a mode where it will do like pitch bend detection. You can turn that off and it would be a little bit better on that. But like, if you want to humanize it, if you want to get like pitch bends in there, you can turn that on. Speaking of pitch bends though, Now we're going to be talking about something that is a very heated subject for guitarists. The concept of top winding. But it does allow you to pitch bend a little bit easier. That's why I said, speaking of pitch bends.
Yeah.
So, all three of us play guitar to some capacity. And it was Coker who brought this on. There's a certain video that's called The Worst Thing You Can Do to a Les Paul that he sent to the chat, and I watched that video.
Yeah, by one of my favorite, absolutely one of my favorite YouTubers who does guitar videos, Chris Buck. Love that dude's videos. And he talked about basically back in the day, and he shows in the video, the first ever article, the first ever Gibson catalog to have a Les Paul in it, featured a picture of a Les Paul where instead of doing what most guitar players do nowadays, where they feed the string in through the front of a you can see in the picture that Austin put in chat, you can see there's the two parts of the bridge. So you have the part that's just below the pickup where the strings go on it, and then you have the little part with the two huge flathead screws in it. That's the part. So most people would put the strings through the holes on the front of that and then just feed it through. But the first ever Gibson catalog featured a picture of them doing what's in that picture, where they would put it in through the other end of that and then wrap it over the top of it. And yeah, I mean, so it's been called plenty of different things. Some people call it top winding, some people call it top wrapping, but each way it's the same thing. It's basically just putting it through and wrapping the strings over the top of that tailpiece. I think that's what it's called, or the part of the bridge, wrapping it over it and then running it through like normal. And Jimmy Page was known to do this. A bunch of different players were known to do this. And some people swear by it, some people swear against it, and it's a very either you love it or you hate it type of thing. And what most people can agree on is that it's not either way, it's not the wrong thing to do. It depends on how you play, what you want, and whether or not it does anything for you. And
yeah, like
for me and Austin,
it's just different,
a lot.
It's just different, Like,
Yeah.
Supposedly the benefits are you can play higher gauge strings, which usually give you like a beefier tone, more sustain. You can play those easier if you top wind them. You can pitch bend easier if you top wind. And apparently you also just get more sustain because there's less tension, if that makes sense. So, I have not tried this yet. Coker has. What are your thoughts?
I love it.
All right.
Absolutely.
You tried it on your SG, right?
Yeah. So something to note, there are some tailpieces that are made specifically for people who want to top wrap. Not all of them, but there's some. And even if you don't have one, you can still do it. So my SG doesn't have it. It's just a normal rounded tailpiece. But if you have one that has a triangular tailpiece, that means that tailpiece was actually made so that you could top wrap it if you want. That doesn't mean if you have one like mine that you can't do it. It just means that some of them are made specifically to let you do that.
It's got
So I
more
put mine-
reinforcement, right?
Yeah. So I did mine, and it feels better to play. It feels a whole lot better. I can bend easier, and it has a whole lot more sustain, which for an SG is is something that's needed. The Les Paul doesn't. The Les Paul's, everyone knows the Les Paul's amazing with sustain, but an SG not so much, which is what top wrapping very much helps me out with. And Austin is right. It does make the strings a little bit more slinky, so you can play it a little bit easier. And if I was someone having some higher gauge string or some heavier gauge string and I didn't like how tight it was, I could actually top wrap and it probably would fix that issue.
Yeah. Poor Jacob only has a Stratocaster, so he cannot talk about this.
I've been thinking about eventually. I definitely have been looking at other guitars, although some of the other guitars I've been looking at are Strats as well, because I like Strats.
I think you should get an ES 335 or 339 for your next guitar?
Called
Because isn't that the kind that Tom DeLonge plays with Angels and Airwaves? He definitely plays a semi-hollow.
It's definitely that kind. In fact, I was literally I'm sorry. I was literally just
Wait,
about to
why
say,
Tom
I think
DeLonge?
I should just get the Tom DeLonge guitar, dude.
Yeah,
The
maybe.
only problem is it's like $5,000 or some shit.
I thought Tom DeLonge's was $235.
Ignore it. Anyways,
hang on.
$235 maybe. I don't know.
Or not
I
235.
was just
He has 333.
333. Okay, there you have it. It was a 330 something.
It's not $5,000. Check this out, okay?
It was a 330 something. But anyways, so signature ES 335 olive green with stripe Tom DeLonge signature. I'm gonna see how much this really is. But yeah, you could top wind. Yeah, it's 1250, 5,500, 2,500, 2,999. But yeah, if you were on the Tom DeLonge guitar, you could definitely top wind it. That's the same kind of bridge that I have on my 335 clone. This thing only has one knob. Wow, that's so weird. Mine's got 4, but mine's a 335 clone. It's not a 333 clone.
I wonder if I should get an ES 335 since it'll be cheaper, right? Or no?
I don't know, man.
I
don't think so. I think it would be about the same. Let me check this out. Like a genuine 335?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look this up right now. Yeah, they're about the same. Well, they got Epiphone ones, obviously. They got Epiphone ones that are more affordable.
I want to get a Chinese knockoff Rickenbacker 325.
Well, you've already got a Chinese knockoff Rickenbacker bass, 4001, right?
Yeah. Complete the whole collection.
Yeah. But yeah, Jacob,
too bad I'm buying
this thing is only so expensive because it has Tom DeLonge's name on it, but it's Epiphone. So like, if you want to get an actual 335 or 339, you could go with Epiphone and it wouldn't be as expensive. But anyways, it looks the exact same as the Gibson. Whether it sounds the exact same, maybe, I don't know. I mean, we talked about that on an earlier episode, but Epiphone's new Les Pauls are pretty much indistinguishable from the Gibson ones.
Yeah,
in sound. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and Jacob,
like
you
2020
honestly
ones.
You'd have a far better opportunity on the Epiphone website now because like they have barely any left-handed guitars for me. So I mean, if you went on there, there's plenty of different cheap options they have. I would see you having like a Les Paul Jr. or something like that, or a Les Paul Deluxe.
I suck at guitars, the only thing.
Well, yeah, but I mean, those are cheaper. Probably cheaper than the Tom DeLonge 333.
Yeah,
that's probably true. Well, anyways, to answer the question, the worst thing that you can do to a Les Paul? Top winding? No, that is not the worst thing that you could do to a Les Paul. The worst thing that you could do to a Les Paul is put a Floyd Rose bridge on it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
If you don't know, that's the bridge on a Strat.
Well, no,
yeah,
not on a Strat.
No, wait, no! I just found a cursed image. No, I just found a Les Paul that has a Floyd Rose. It looks so weird.
Floyd Roses aren't the default one on Strats.
Okay, but they are usually found on Strats. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Any final thoughts on top winding? I think I'll try it. I'll try it on my 335 clone. But I think I've been so used to playing with it the way it is. I don't know. Besides, on my 335 clone, it's very easy to bend the strings. I've never had a problem with that. So,
on the end note, there's plenty of worse things you could do to Les Paul. You could throw it down a staircase. You could throw it off a roof. You could throw it in a pool. You could put it in a bathtub, soak it with water for a couple hours. I mean,
leave it in a hot car.
There's plenty of worse things. You could run it over with a truck or a car. There are plenty of worse things you can do. I mean, you can give one to like a punk band and let them smash it. I mean, that's already.
Yeah.
So there's
Feed it
plenty
to
worse
Billy
things
Joe
to do
Armstrong.
versus oh my god, you put the strings on a different way.
Cringe.
Can't do that.
Oh boy. Well, anyways,
So it's supposed to make it easier to like bend the notes, bend the
Yeah.
strings front. So
yeah,
from the looks of it, you go in from the top and then you kind of bend over and then whoop.
yeah, pretty much. Just like it says, just like it is in that picture that I have on screen right now.
Mm-hmm.
But if that's all we're gonna talk about, then
What if I can do that with my Strat? I'll
if
make
you
it
do
work.
that with your Stratocaster, I will be very impressed, and we will talk about that on the episode. And we will talk
Yeah.
about that on another episode. But now, speaking of guitars, we're going to talk about something else. So we've talked about this a bit before, but Coker and I, we both have problems with our ears ringing, and mine not so bad as his. But the one thing that I've always found weird about my ears ringing is that it's really only bad on. Oh, hey, what's going on, Tar? By the way, Tar joined the chat. But anyways, my ears ringing is really only bad on the right side, only my right ear. And I've always wondered why that is. Is it because I sleep more on my right side? But that doesn't make any sense. What sound is going on then? Like, if anything, my right ear should hear better than my left ear because of that, and there should be no ringing at all. Well, the other day, I think I figured it out. And it kind of has to do with the guitar. So, can you two fellow guitar players maybe guess why? And for Coker, it would be the opposite. That should give it away.
60 cycle hum.
No.
Feedback.
No, what is like a part of us playing the guitar for us that's opposite for you?
You're right-handed.
Oh, I'm left-handed.
So if
Okay.
if this were for you, if this were happening for you, it would be happening in your left ear. Does that help you?
Yeah.
Does that make it clear?
It does happen in my left ear. Or no, it happens in my whole head, but still a little bit in my left ear.
I think what the deal is that when I play the guitar, of course, I'm kind of looking towards my left hand making the chords while I'm playing. I'm not looking straight down. I'm never looking straight down. I'm usually either looking a little bit to the right to see where, like if I'm flat picking something, to see where my pick is in regards to the strings, or what's usually happening is I'm looking to the left to see like where my left hand is on the fretboard to make sure that I get the chords right. And because of that, my right ear is tilted towards the strings. And I think that's it. I think that's the reason why my right ear is the one that rings.
For me, my ringing is because I listen to music very loud for
I said if this were you, it would do that. But anyways, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the culprit for my ringing ear. And like it's never this bad in the left ear, so I'm pretty sure like that's the culprit. And like I play pretty hard when I play guitar. So yeah. Warning, guys, never play guitar without earplugs, I guess.
I'm trying to think.
Do you play guitar with earplugs now?
I'm gonna play it with headphones usually, because I'm usually like recording when I play. But sometimes I just like to sit down and play. Who would have known that would have been dangerous to my health, dangerous to my ears, man. Hashtag guitar's bad.
Yeah, I know. Dude, have you heard of the thing where like there was a rumor, it was called like I think it was called like bass crotch or something, where people would have like the bass and apparently it would like make their skin get irritated because the bass would be rubbing up against their crotch. So like the punk bands, they'd have their guitars cranked down so low, and apparently specifically the bassist would get like a bunch of like irritated skin and crap from the bass being that low and rubbing up against them 24/7. And so they started calling it bass crotch, and someone said, well, dang, if that's true, I wonder how the Beatles felt when they had their guitars cranked up to like their chest.
They'd be massaging their pecs.
I know, dude.
But whatever. That must be so uncomfortable to play the guitar like that. I don't know how they did it. And the thing is, like, they weren't taught to play it like that because the Beatles they didn't have like guitar lessons, you know. Oh man,
I saw the only real person who was taught what they played was Ringo, and that was drums, and he didn't even know the Beatles for the longest time.
And like his style was still so weird because he was left-handed. He would lead into fills like that differently.
And like there was a book I remember reading where it was talking about the Beatles when they were forming, and they had to pick a drawing of them in music class, and I was like, they didn't even take music lessons. Not most of the chords that John Lennon learned on guitar were basically banjo chords that his mom taught him.
Very nice.
I'm not even kidding. That is an actual truth.
There was there was a video that I watched. I don't think we talked about this on the podcast. We should have. A video called "Did the Beatles Know Music Theory?" And in that video, the guy talked about like they would get on a bus and go to the other side of town just to learn a new just to learn a new chord, like a F-sharp 7. So like the video's premise was the Beatles understood like the concept of theory and like they got it, but they couldn't like put it into words. Like they could perform it. They could what's the word? They could synthesize it, but they could not express it. They could not teach anybody else, right?
Yeah.
It was like muscle memory to them.
Me, sort of.
Kind of, except you know the language. You know what a fifth is. You know what a major seventh chord is, right? But they didn't, sort of.
I know how to
they do now, but
I don't know how to. I don't know if I know how to describe it necessarily. Not very easily, at least.
But you know what a major triad is, right? Like you can write down. If I give you a note right now, like D.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, they could form that on a guitar or a piano, but it would not come naturally to them to write down. Oh, well, the other two notes would be F sharp and A, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
hey, I know
all
some
that
music theory. I'm not a Dumbo like Coker.
he knows it too.
You are just jealous because how awesome I am. You're just mad.
Hey man, you're better at guitar than me, so
You're mad, and Austin's better than both of us. So,
dude, Austin.
but
is
I'm the
okay
one.
at
I'm the
guitar.
one that's gonna be making all the guitar pedals someday. So
Austin, I dare you to pick
stay
up the
mad.
guitar right now and to play that one Sky Sailing song. The dune, I can't remember what it's called. Dun 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 dun.
Why do that when we can just get the Voclia doubler and transpose it into into MIDI? My guitar is not in that tuning though. It's not in that tuning though. Besides, Coker just had a nice segue. Coker, you want to make guitar pedals someday?
Yeah.
How do you plan to do that? Like, I know that you know how pedals work, right? So, just walk us through it.
First thing I need to do is I need to buy a soldering iron. You know what that is, Jacob? Did they teach you that in kindergarten?
Yes, I know what it's. They didn't teach me a soldering iron in kindergarten, but yes.
Okay, I was just checking. Okay,
it was first grade, idiot.
So, dang, that's
class.
Sad.
This is a soldering iron. Oh!
They taught me. Then I learned that in third grade. Dang, no, but basically, I'm gonna start off with I found a kit online that like gives you all the capacitors and stuff you need, and it's basically a fuzz face clone. The one I'm getting is a Ibanez Tube Screamer clone, and it comes with the shell and everything. And what I'm hoping to do is build that kit and memorize it enough to the point where I can actually start using the components that I buy on my own to build those same pedals. And eventually I just want to get to the point where I can actually look at like take a, whatever the word is. I think it's like a scratch board or something. And I want to be able to take it and then just put a bunch of capacitors together and make like a big muff, or something like that. I would love to do something like JHS pedals and Earthquaker devices are like my two biggest inspirations for wanting to get into pedals, because I love JHS's videos on it, and he makes it seem so simple. And even though I know it's not really that simple, but he makes it seem like it's not. Once you get in the rhythm of it, you'll know how to do it, which is really cool because he shows you, like, he made a video one time of how to modify a fuzz face, and I've looked at it and it's so interesting to look at. And the fact that 90% of it is just soldering capacitors and stuff and putting in wires and knobs and stuff, it just seems so cool to me. And I would love to be able to do that. I'd love to be able to just sit there and crank out a, tube screamer, put some
Yeah.
stuff together and make it, or modify like a rat, to make it like an octave fuzz,
Yeah. You can do just about anything really if you know the
Yeah.
electronics.
If I learn how to do it, then I could do anything. Like think about the dude from Boston, he made he made his own pedals and his own equipment, and that actually got me thinking. So I looked at the video the other day, and basically one of the guys from Boston, if I can remember his name correctly, basically, well, I can't remember it now, but it was what's his face? Tom Scholz. Tom Scholz if you don't know, he was an engineer at MIT. That was where he got his degree, and he basically built his own equipment. And one of the things that he built was called the Rockman. And the Rockman basically was a portable amplifier. You clip it to your pocket, you plug up your guitar, and you put on some headphones, and boom, you had a little guitar amp with you. But it was so good that studios began to use it. So if you know that whole really chorusy, reverby, clean guitar sound from the 80s, that came from a Rockman. Def Leppard used it. Pour Some Sugar on Me. That was the distortion from that song was a Rockman. And that's the type of thing I would love to be able to do with that, is to just make my own equipment and to just be able to use it. Mind the voice crack, be able to use it when I'm recording. Because it just seems so interesting to me. And not to mention, I could go down the line of like JHS pedals and start selling them, which I would love to do, make money off of them.
You said the Rockman was like a mini-amp?
It is a mini-amp, yeah. You clip it on.
It doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it.
That one.
Oh, not this one?
You just sent. No, that they did make wall amps, and that is one that you just pulled up. But the Rockman, literally was a pocket that you would put. It was a little thing. I'll send a picture of it. It literally was a little thing that you would slip into your pocket, and it's really just a cool thing to look at. See, this one's the Guitar Ace model, but it's
Hold up. I think I found it. It's like the size of a Walkman.
Yeah, that's why it's called the Rockman.
I just figured that out.
Yeah.
Hold up. I'll put that on screen really quick. Just got to flip it around.
Hold up. Hold the phone. I just found something amazing. This is amazing. So I'm looking up the Rockman, and I found this on Etsy. Let
me see.
Guitar practice amplifier.
Dang, I want it.
Oh, nice.
In a can of Spam.
Nice. Okay.
Dude, the knobs say the little switch is fried, chilled, and grilled.
I'm gonna put this on screen too, really quick.
Please put the Spam on screen.
Hold up.
Dude, it's $54. I might get it. Dude, there's more. The guy makes them. He makes them. They're from Liverpool.
Oh, he's got a NES controller Bluetooth speaker. He's got a portable Mint tin amp. Altoids amp? Interesting. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna put this on screen. You
This is
guys,
amazing.
look at this. Look
Well,
at
no, the
this.
NES
This is
guy isn't the same one.
gorgeous. This
The
is
guy- the spam
this
guy-
is something really special, isn't it? The Spamp.
The Spamp. This might need. I need to get. We all need to get one of these. One has a speaker and the other's just a head. I think I'm just gonna get the head one. Dude,
Well, how
imagine
big
if
is the
you
head
just
one?
go-
Isn't it all like pocket
It's-
size?
They're all. It's the size of a can of Spam. So,
That's so weird.
dude, it's got a little clip so you can put on your pocket and a battery. Dude, imagine if you go and you see me performing and I just have this giant Marshall cabinet, like this 8x12 Marshall cabinet, and then just on top of it you see a can of Spam with some cables coming out of it.
Yeah. That'd be such a good
amazing.
troll.
I want to hear how this sounds. Does he have a demo? Please.
Whoa. Okay, that's too long.
This guy-
Yes, please try and find a demo on YouTube. If so,
I can find a
if you
demo
if
of
you
this.
find it, I will put it in the description
If
and
I-
in the chat.
No, you know what I do? If I learn how to make pedals, boom, I can make my own Spamp.
Yeah. Spamp.
Boom. Hold
You
on,
know,
okay, I'm looking.
speaking of making pedals though, I was going to say this, but I wonder what it would be like if you took like the circuits of a tube screamer and just like wired them somehow into like a synthesizer. Just like
Ooh,
maybe
that'd be
into
cool.
maybe if you did that, maybe it would I don't know. It would probably be the same as if you just plugged it in, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Be an interesting project.
my
We
God.
wouldn't want to mess up like the modular circuits, because that would maybe ruin the transmission, but it also might do something cool.
Listen, this is a demo of the Spamp, and it sounds amazing. It actually sounds super good.
I'm gonna play it. Are you
Huh?
kidding me? Are you kidding me? I just played a bit, and that sounds so good.
Yeah.
That's insane. It does not sound like a little can of Spam.
It
Okay,
sounds
I'm
like
gonna definitely put that in the description and in the chat.
the Spamp, everyone, dude.
Yeah,
I hate to be like this. I would love to support my homie, the Spamp man, but I cannot afford shipping all the way from Liverpool. I must see if someone has one up on eBay who's local.
that's funny.
No, all they're looking for is stamps. I don't want stamps. I want Spam.
Is that just recorded DI from the Spamp? Surely.
I think he might have it running through a cabinet or something. I don't know.
Okay. He called the song Spam 41. Very nice. Very, very nice title.
Like some 41.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I found one that's someone shipping from Minneapolis.
That sounds good. Let me buy it. Wow,
yeah.
bad boy.
Dude,
You-
we all need to just get
That's not
Spamps.
that much. It's
We need
really
to get-
not that much.
You need to get the Spamp with like an orange head. I mean, a cabinet or a Marshall cabinet.
God, why does the PS5 have to come out in freaking 13 days, dude, or 12 days?
Oh, boy.
Like, because I pre-ordered it, right? But the thing is, obviously, you don't pay for it until like it gets shipped. So when it gets shipped, at the same time, I'm gonna be paying for the PS5 and a $70 game, and then the next week
And then-
another $60 game.
And then you got the Spamp.
I'm gonna be broke.
Listen,
I'm
the
gonna be
Spamp
broke.
costs about as much as a game.
True.
Yeah, but I'm already buying the other games. I'm like poor now. I'm gonna be poor, and it even has a belt clip.
All right. So,
So does the
I'm sorry, I
Rockman.
didn't hear. Does this have? This doesn't have speakers, right? This
One
would be
version.
headphones.
There's a model of it that does.
yeah.
It's about $20
There's
more
an
dollars. though.
Altoids can one, dude.
Yeah, I told you.
That's not by the same guy though.
Looks too small.
Well, anyways, we are very impressed with that. Thank you, Coker, for bringing that to our attention.
The
Hey.
amazing Spamp.
We should get this to help reference our music.
Yeah. Yeah, these are my monitors.
Yeah.
You just have two.
It's just a phonograph speaker for reference, guys. Anyways, all right. So we got a couple more things to talk about. We've actually been going for an hour and 10 minutes. First off, though, everybody go, both of you go to the pinned messages and check out the video I sent called Touch Sensitive Fader. And I'm going to put that up on screen.
Yeah.
I don't understand what it's supposed to mean.
Yeah, I'll explain that. Oh, hang on. Hold up. I need a...
I saw it, but I just don't understand it.
I got it.
So the thing is, this is a...
There's like a capacitive touch, basically, right?
No, well, okay. Hang on. So basically, this is a big SSL console for post-production. It's designed for post-production, and it's like fully integrated with Pro Tools. So I had put that thing in like latch mode. So basically, it was like ready. It was like sitting on ready, right? And you'll see it on screen now. Basically, it was like detecting when I was touching it because it was ready to go into latch mode. And I just thought it was kind of cool because I wasn't moving it at all. It was just it was just me touching it, and it was still picking it up. But yeah, what part of you?
So
What part
meant,
do you
like,
not?
You could literally just tap it in, and it would like sense it.
It would sense that I'm touching it. Yeah. It would.
Oh,
It was
I
just
thought
like ready.
I thought you meant it was
Actu-
just like a fader that could work on like a computer with your touch. Like when you touched it and moved it.
Oh yeah, I mean all of the faders would work. But yeah, it's pretty epic.
Hey, Coker. This is a little off topic, but it's out of curiosity. Have you ever heard of the band the Chain Gang of 1974?
The what?
The Chain Gang of 1974.
No.
You might like his music. It's a little more alternative, but it's more it's definitely more up your valley. If you consider everything I listen to and put it together, that would probably be like the one thing you'd actually be a little interested in. You might have heard their most popular song. It's called Sleepwalking. It was actually the trailer song for GTA 5.
Oh.
Yeah, that one. See, here's the thing. Before I was into Owl City, that was my favorite band or artist.
Yeah, I know
Was
that
the Chain
song.
Gang of 1974. Their music's solid, and it's like I kind of feel bad for not really listening to them like these days because like 'cause I enjoy that type of music still.
Dude, I mean, I might need to check him out because I remember that song when it was.
Yeah,
Dude,
dude, that
GTA
song
5.
is really good though. Like I've been listening to it a lot lately. I just like it's in my head.
You're already the song inside my head.
Oh, I didn't even think about this, Austin. If I get good enough at making pedals, I could actually make my own amp.
Yeah, probably.
You can
Just
start
making it-
selling pedals.
Your own preamp.
Yeah, no. Like if I made like you can make I can make like a amp, and I always had this idea for a pedal that basically what it is it takes your signal and then it puts it out through a tiny little speaker that probably has like a piezo on it or something, and the piezo picks up the speaker, and then the output on the pedals from that piezo, and then that can run into an amp or whatever. And I don't know what sound it would give, but I feel like it'd be something.
Well, that'll really be something, man. What would you call the company, like the brand for the pedals and amps?
I feel like Sweet Tuesday Pedals would be a good, like, not bad name. You know, even though it is not very original, I feel like, you know, Sweet
Bottom of
Tuesday
the ocean pedals.
Ocean.
I think that's a bit too long. Ocean Man pedals. Just Ocean Pedals. Why not? That's a pretty good game.
That sounds like it's already been taken. I gotta see.
Yeah, because it's good. No, but anyways,
World famous pedals.
Nope, there isn't. There isn't a name called. There isn't Ocean Pedals. There's
There-
pedals that are called the Ocean, but there's no. Ocean
there you have it then.
pedal. We got it, guys. Speaking of pedals, you guys can probably, hopefully, maybe expect this on the next episode if we remember. But I'm getting a. We talked about the Klon earlier. I'm actually getting a clone of the Klon, and it should actually be coming in the mail this Wednesday. So yeah, if it works, we might be able to talk about it on the next episode. I'm not going to give any more info on it because I still want it to be something for you guys to see. But you hopefully. I'll send a picture of it just for Jacob and them to see, but one of you guys might be able to see that in the future. And we could see how it compares to the real Klon when Jacob gives me a loan of $5,000 and lets me buy one.
Alone?
Yeah, a loan.
The voice inside your head. What happened to that pedal where you put liquid in it?
We never bought that.
We should have.
Sorry. Somebody needs to
Imagine if
buy
someone
that.
buys
Somebody
that-
needs to buy the Voclia thing, and somebody needs to buy the Spamp. I call getting the Spamp. No, actually, I think I want the Voclia. I'll get the Voclia. Okay.
No, I want the Voclia.
Imagine
I actually
if,
suck at performance.
No, imagine if
I have performance issues.
You know how? So I watched a video where someone actually there's a YouTuber who I watch called Samurai Guitarist, and he actually bought the liquid pedal, and he actually showed one of the things that they say on the inside of it, on like a little thing like on the box. It says bodily fluids in the pedal will void warranty.
I get so high when
That's
the
so bad.
there's a lady.
They knew someone was gonna try something.
Ooh.
They knew.
They knew someone was gonna like pee in the pedal. Imagine if you did that and it turned out to just be the Klon.
I bet it's the
Wow.
coolest sound there is.
It just turned out to be the Klon, the Centaur.
Yeah.
What if
Well-
you die in the pedal?
Oh, why not? But anyways, so we got one more thing to talk about really quick. And we've been going for almost an hour and 20 minutes. So this will be the last thing for today. You guys watched that Final Fantasy sound remake video, right?
I watched it and
Yep.
I'll try to remember what was in it. I remember I watched it though.
I never want to let you down, Austin. So I watched it.
All right.
Yep.
This guy basically remade one of the sounds from the Final Fantasy VII Remake, which was the cloud cross slash sound that he does with that sword of his. And it's like a 4-motion slash that he does. So of course you have to have like the different knives. He got like knives and forks. And he also used a jet plane, United 737, and he heated up his grill and then splashed some water on it and recorded the sizzle of the water. And then he had like a hanger that he was whipping around for like that whoom, whoom sound. And then what else? You guys remember?
I think he recorded some static for a bit of it.
Yeah, no, he had a compressed air. He had a can of compressed air.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
And he sequenced it all together in, I believe, Mixcraft. Either that or Reaper.
I think that's true. I think that's right.
And there's a lot of fading. You know, he has to have like he had like 3 different tracks where he took like 3 different parts of a sound, gave it like 3 different EQ curves. And then there was like that motion in between where he kind of comes back to do the final strike. So he had like an extra knife sound for that. And I just put a link to that video in the chat and in the description.
It's really cool to watch. It's like I saw a clip one time where they were trying to show how they were showing some scene where someone's walking through. It was some scene where it required a really murky noise, and they used like a bag full, like a mop, and then just started slamming it against a piece of wood to get like a noise out of it. And I think it's crazy this type of ideas you have to have. You know how much you gotta think about how to get a sound for something, because you can't just go and actually make the sound, because you know how
Gotta layer
sometimes
it.
yeah, and plus how sometimes sounds in real life don't necessarily get the feel of like what we associate with them.
Oh yeah, like the biggest example is probably weapons. Like
Yeah.
guns in real life are like, but in the movies they're like, you know.
Yeah, no. It's
You gotta have
crazy.
some things to like back them up and get the feel like, yeah, this is a real menacing device.
Or
You
like
know,
a punch
a
in movies,
punch.
like a
That's the
punch
other
is
perfect example.
a
Why are
punch
these
is
so
literally
violent? But yeah, like a punch in real life is just, I just punched
it's just a
myself.
collision. Yeah, it's just a collision, but then
But
like in movies
in the movies, it's
so
like,
meaty. Yeah.
not really.
It's my fault that it sounds like that, because one day I was just in the toilet, right, and I was like, "Ugh!" and then there was this guy from the studio next to me. He's like, "Hey man, that sounds like a pretty cool punching sound. What if I sample that with my Zoom H5 recorder real quick? I'll record in stereo, 96
And then
kilohertz, 24 bit, and
I'll
then
run it
bam,
through
it'll sound great.
and then I'll run it through Coker's amazing
I'll run it
pedal
through the channels and see what they think."
from Ocean Pedals.
Yeah, and then whenever I need to play it back, I'll just have it stored as a sample and call it up on my sampler, and then just revoice it with the Voclia mic. And yeah, whenever I need a punch, I can just go, and it'll pull it up, you know? And I'll be sure not to turn one of my ears to the speakers more than the other, because that'll make them ring. And when it comes time to mix it, I'll put my fader in latch mode, and then just touch it to make sure that it's ready.
And then run through a classic Ocean Pedals reverb.
And then I'll take a video. I'll take a video of just the speaker with the sound playing. You know, that's what I'll do, and that'll be the movie. You know, we won't actually have a video of a guy getting punched. It'll just be the speaker. It'll just be a video of the speaker.
Speaking of speakers, how come you can't record silence and then play it with a speaker and then turn it up to silence people?
That's like multiplying 0 by 0, man.
It should work.
Oh well. Anyways, guys, this has been another great episode of Extra Reverb. First ever live stream. I think it went pretty well, actually. But we're not going to pat ourselves on the back. Not now, anyways.
We'll be back for episode 30.
Yeah. Leave a like if you want us to do another live stream episode. Maybe we'll do them every 10 episodes. That's actually not a bad idea. But anyways, yeah, we'll see you guys later. And here comes the outro video.
The outro.
Yeah.
Din 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 din. Dun, do 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 do.